Marina Del Rey is a west side community right on the water, primarily known for its boats and yachts that are decked out behind me. But we are here in Burton Chase Park, and I'm just gonna show you and talk a little bit about the pros and cons of what it's like to live here in Marina Del Rey. This is definitely an area like no other here in Los Angeles. It's just south of Venice, and the first pro on this list is definitely gonna be the location. Because we are in a west side community, but it is a lot more clean than a couple of other beachside communities that you might see around, such as parts of Santa Monica, parts of Venice. There is definitely a mix of old and young in the crowds here in Marina Del Rey as well. I think I hear some seals, honestly. Let me go check out if there's actually some seals docked out right here next to the boats, but you can see all the yacht owners around us. We've got the statue of the helmsman right here. Check it out. There's a Marina Del Rey staple right behind me. And like I said, it is an older and younger crowd. You're gonna see a lot of retirees that wanna live near the water in maybe a high-rise apartment building. You can see 13700 Marina, one of the more popular condo buildings behind me. You don't get that much on the west side. You don't see high-rise apartments, high-rise condos, especially with ocean views, marina views like you're gonna see here in Marina Del Rey. But touching on the topic of location, we are also pretty much as close as it gets to the Los Angeles airport, LAX. We are just north of it, so it's very convenient. Although you're right next to the water and it's gonna be harder to get to Beverly Hills, downtown, the valley, it's not gonna be hard to travel, to fly somewhere if you have to go to the airport pretty frequently, because the airport is 5 minutes away. There's lots to do in Marina Del Rey besides just sitting here on a park bench and looking at the ocean. There are lots of nice brunch spots, lots of nice restaurants. There's also a good nightlife for younger people as well in their 20s and 30s. Lots of bars such as Brennan's, where they actually have turtle races 2 Thursdays every month. You ever heard of a turtle race in your city if you're not from here? It's a very popular event. Bar gets very packed. People are cheering on the turtles. There's only one rule though. You cannot make the turtles feel bad when you're watching the races. It's an actual rule that they have over there. The cool part about Marina Del Rey is everything is located directly around the marina, directly around the water here. From this park, I can pretty much walk to anything I'd want, from the high-end luxury restaurants that are surrounding the water on the opposite end from where I am right now, to the local Trader Joe's, which is down the road. You've got all of your classic lunch spots as well near me. So you're definitely not isolated in this part of town, because they have built out Marina Del Rey to be its own individual sanctuary. And going off that, a pro on this list is definitely the things to do are endless out here, from no matter what you want to do. If you want to go fishing, if you want to go on a boat, if you want to go to a nice restaurant, if you want to go walk your dog, there's just something for everyone out here. And that's because there is a good mix of people, young, old, locals, tourists. You're definitely not going to get as many tourists out here as you'd see in Santa Monica or Venice, so that's also a plus. You're not going to deal with crowds of people. I mean, look at this. It's a Thursday afternoon and there's really no one at this park at all, which is always a good thing. You can have your own space still. Although it is generally a quiet town, like I said, you can still go to the bars, you can still go out and have a good time if that's your vibe. And also, if the Marina Del Rey nightlife isn't exactly what you're into, then you can go to Venice, you can go to Santa Monica, or you can go down to the South Bay, Redondo, Hermosa, Huntington even. You can go down to Orange County if you want. Location and just things to do out here are just top tier. There are honestly just too many pros for me to just talk about to only list a few, so I'm just gonna kind of ramble on here. So the beaches out here in Marina Del Rey, you have some of the nicer beaches and the much less crowded beaches. I touched on this a little bit. In Venice, in Santa Monica, the beaches are gonna be way more packed, way more touristy. Out here, you're gonna find more private spots like this, your local park, where there aren't gonna be that many people. You can definitely enjoy some peace. You can get your morning cup of coffee at the local Starbucks or the local family coffee shop as well. You have a lot of those out here in Marina Del Rey, as well as all the classic franchises you're gonna want. But everything is a lot less crowded, there's more peace, and just overall a more quaint community. Another pro, which I don't really even have to talk that much about because everyone already talks about that already, and that goes with every town in LA, but there are differences in every neighborhood, every city. So the weather, of course I'm gonna have to mention the weather out here. It is going to be maybe even about 20 degrees cooler out here than it will be in parts of the valley, parts of even Beverly Hills, the Hollywood Hills, because we are right on the water. You get that nice ocean breeze, but you're not gonna get the crazy winds either that you might see in some parts of the valley. I don't know if you guys can hear these seals, but they are just very loud in the background right here. Like I said, I'm gonna see if I can spot one for you guys over here. This is wild. Oh, there he is. What the heck? Something going on right down here. It's a takeover of the seals down here. Look at this. There's a fight going on down there. Well, that was fun. I definitely stood there for a good 20 minutes just seeing what they would do. You know, it's just great to be within nature. You just never know what you're going to experience with wildlife. Even the sea life. You got those seals just living the dream. Did you see they attacked each other? They were pretty much playing King of the Island, knocking each other off that island right there. You don't see that every day. Maybe in Marina Del Rey you'd see that every day. So if you guys are thinking about moving here, that's what you're gonna have to experience. But so I talked about some of the pros. We're gonna touch on some of the cons. First off, it's gonna be that it is a little expensive. It's actually not as expensive as you might think because there are a lot of apartments actually here. Because of the big high-rise buildings, there are a lot of vacancies as well occasionally that come up in those apartment buildings, as well as some of the single-family housing neighborhoods as you go a little bit more inland to the Culver areas. But still, it's not gonna be as expensive as Venice. I know a lot of people look to live in Venice, but not as many people look to live in Marina Del Rey. People might not know too much about Marina Del Rey other than that you can park your boats and yachts here, but it's very similar to Venice except you get a lot more of a calmer, peaceful lifestyle. And going off of expense, yes, houses are pretty expensive, buying condo units, rent is pretty expensive, also food is pretty expensive. You got some nice luxury restaurants surrounding the water, and it's just Los Angeles in general, so everything's gonna be a little bit more expensive, gas, rent, food, and everything in between. You know, when trying to think about the cons of Marina Del Rey, pretty much all of them collectively have to do with Los Angeles and California in general anyway, such as the expense, such as high property taxes, such as high rent, such as everything's just a little bit more expensive when you're living here in California, in Los Angeles, not to mention by the water. I guess another con of Marina Del Rey could be, which was also somewhat a pro. You know, you can think of the positives and negatives of both pros and cons. One of the cons could be a little too close to the airport. You know, since the time I've been here, I've already seen probably a dozen planes fly by me, but it's not that loud. If you're a little bit closer to LAX, it could be a little louder. If you're in Playa del Rey, Playa Vista, you'll probably be hearing the airplanes constantly throughout the day, which could be a bother, but it's also a pro because you can get to and from wherever you have to be if you're going to be traveling a lot. Location, any desirable place comes with a bit of a price tag, and I guess another con could be that you are kind of stuck out here on the west side. If you want to do something in North Hollywood, Studio City, Hollywood, it's going to be quite the distance. You're going to probably have to drive 40-45 minutes to get over to that side, so if you're gonna live on the west side, especially out here by Marina Del Rey, by LAX, just make sure you're gonna pick the right place because although Venice is close, Hollywood Hills, not very close. So if you have friends living on the east side of Los Angeles, just make sure you take that into consideration before making the venture out to Marina Del Rey. I'll be honest, maybe a little bit of a biased video because there are not that many cons when I think of living in Marina Del Rey. Everyone I know, all my clients, all my friends, family members that have ever lived for Marina Del Rey, whether that's for a decade or whether that's for a month, they always say they love it. Just there's something about being close to the water, close to the marina when you can wake up, walk to the park, walk to your local food store, and then also put your feet in the water, or just at least seeing the water, seeing the ocean, seeing the sunrise coming over the Pacific Ocean. There's just something about that I think triggers something in your brain that just makes you think that this is the right place to be. I like this place. If you don't have the fortune of being in Marina Del Rey, there are many hotels by the water that you can stay in for a night or two as well. But like I said, all the cons about Marina Del Rey usually have to do with being in LA, in California in general, such as sometimes there's gonna be some homeless around, there's gonna be high expenses. When you're living in LA on the west side, it doesn't get much better than being here in MDR. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching till the end of this video. If you have any cons to suggest about Marina Del Rey, if you've lived here, if you've been here for a good amount of time and want to comment a con down below, something that you don't like about it, let me know. Obviously, people are going to complain about being expensive, but if it's expensive, go live in Alabama, go live in Nebraska, because we don't want you here anyway if you're just going to talk bad about our wonderful city out here in Los Angeles, out here on the west side. But like I said, guys, my name is Darren Kriz. I have a team out here that help clients buy, sell, and invest in real estate every single day. So if that's you or someone you know, reach out. Information down in the description below. Really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm talking about all things Los Angeles. I'm showing you all the properties in LA to just give you guys a different perspective on what LA has to offer when it comes to buying real estate, living out here in Los Angeles. I feel like the media portrays a bad image of what Los Angeles actually is these days in 2023. So let me know what you think of these videos. Hit the subscribe button for more. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.